Bernardino Public Golf Club, Rudy C. Hernandez Center, and the Rock and Outreach Center. A year has passed, and we continue to heal. We reflect on that tragic day when we were busy at work serving our consumers when suddenly pandemonium broke out. Some staff witnessed the event and sent messages to others. First responders were quickly at the scene, and our campus was immersed with the brave men and women who arrived to protect, shelter, and treat the injured. We were led to different locations for safety. It was a long and stressful day, and we struggled with the question of why had this happened. We will never forget that day or the victims of this senseless act of violence. We strive to move forward and search for the good that is in us all. To make our campus safer, we have installed security cameras on our buildings, additional outdoor lighting on our buildings and our campus, and we've implemented a visitor list. We have also increased our security presence. We at Inland Regional Center continue with our commitment to serve the over 32,000 consumers who live in San Bernardino and Riverside counties. We do this by doing our jobs and by working closely with our vendors who provide the direct service to our consumers to assist them to live independently in their communities. On this day, 1 year later, I want to take this moment to applaud the strength, commitment, and conviction of the dedicated Inland Regional Center staff to pick up the pieces and move forward into a new day. I want to personally thank the good people from law enforcement, the fire department, and emergency medical services. You were here when we needed you, and you continue to be here when we need you. And to each of you attending today and sharing in this commemoration, thank you. Everything we do together. Today, we are here to commemorate the 14 people who tragically lost their lives a year ago, and all those who were injured by those tragic events. Now, I would like to introduce to you Mr. Keith Nelson, our Board of Trustees Chair. Keith will be recognizing the 4 businesses that sheltered us on December 2 of 2015. Keith?
Thank you, Lavinia. I'm Keith Nelson, Chair of the Board of Trustees of the Inland Regional Center. And as I wrote that, I thought that was okay, but driving over here, I thought of something else. That's not who I am. I'm the parent of 4 kids. One of them is a consumer at the Inland Regional Center who has become a fine young man. And I want to thank all of you for being part of that development. That's who we are. That's who defines us. That is exactly what we do, and I'm very proud of you. On behalf of myself and my fellow trustees, I want to thank the executive management, the directors, the managers, and especially the staff for all you do. I want to thank our community members who are here joining us, our vendors, which is really not a good name because they're really our partners in helping develop the fine people we serve. I would also like to thank the local and state politicians and their staffs in attendance as well. Though Lavinia so eloquently thanked the first responders who so bravely and selfishly sprung into action on 12/2, I would be remiss not to thank them all again for myself and the board. The courage, unselfishness, and noble actions in the absence of fear for your community is just remarkable. We so often take them for granted for the very things they deserve and do. It's my privilege today to thank 4 local businesses who provided shelter and comfort to our staff on 12/2. We'd like to recognize Cynthia Alvarado from Rudy C. Hernandez Community Center. Thank you so much. Next, Sonny Hammond from the San Bernardino Public Golf Course. I remember standing over there watching you guys walk over the golf course, and that was sure a sign of relief from being on the outside, and I'm just glad you guys are all safe and back to work. Finally, I'd like to recognize Dr. Reverend Fred Adams of the Rock Church and World Outreach Center. Has a few words if you'd like to.
I just want to say good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and the employees and staff of the Inland Regional Center. I consider it a real honor to be here at the Rock Church. We do. Our senior pastor, Pastor Dan Roth, our executive pastor, back here in the back, Pastor Lou Colbray, and the church administrator, Stephanie Moore. We just appreciate being here, and it's an honor. It really, truly is an honor. A year ago today, about just a little after 11 o'clock, I received a phone call from Captain Ray King of the San Bernardino Police Department asking permission to bring the evacuees, most of you, over to the Rock Church. I went into Pastor Dan and Pastor Luke's office and explained the situation, and they said, of course, yes. The answer is yes. And I just want to say real quickly, my prayer is that you as Inland Regional Center employees and staff, that you keep this event as an annual event, that it would be commemorative, that you keep alive the memories of your loved ones and your co-workers, that it would be communal, and that you draw together as a company to recall the common origin and experiences as a team, as team members with common goals of providing the services that you offer our community here at the Inland Regional Center. Then I'd also say that I'd like that, hope that you would keep this event and cause it to be theological, in that the observance of this day would represent those who have lost their lives, and that for many years to come, those that would attend this event would learn the lessons of reality, the reality of love, the reality of forgiveness, and the importance of trusting God for healing. And then lastly and finally, I would like to say that hopefully that this event becomes typological, in that with anticipation and the fulfillment of the symbolism that so often happens with people like us here in our great nation, when we experience challenges that have brought us here together, that we find comfort in the strong resolve of unity as a people and not let the challenges cause us to wane and to fall back. I want to close by just saying one last thing. I'd like to leave you with these words from Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28 and 29. It says, "Come unto me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." On behalf of the Rock Church, I'd like to thank you so much. And much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Adams. And thank you to everyone who came to our assistance this past year. Good morning. My name is Kevin Ernst, and I'm the Associate Executive Director here at IRC. It is now about 10:51, and as indicated on your agendas, at approximately 10:58, we will have a moment of silence. During that time, we will also ring a remembrance bell 14 times to honor those who were lost in last year's attack. In the meantime, many people have asked what our plans are for the future of the Conference Center. The Conference Center has been closed since last December 2nd. As you can see, there is a security fence around the building right now. That fence is because this is an active construction site, largely due to the water damage that was sustained last year. We do anticipate returning to the building to use probably sometime in early 2017. Discussion of how the facility will be used is ongoing. However, we do intend to have a memorial space of some kind on the first floor, and we also anticipate that the Coffee and More coffee shop will return to the building also on the first floor. How the remainder of the space that is going to be used throughout the building is still in the discussion phase. And more information on that will be available as we get closer to reopening the building. I would also like to direct your attention to the reverse side of the agenda that you have there for you, and remind you and encourage you that tonight at 6:30 at the Casulis Arena of the campus of California State University, San Bernardino, there will be a public memorial ceremony focusing on how we honor, reflect, and rebuild in the wake of 12/2/15. You are all encouraged to attend. It is now approximately 10:54. Very shortly, I'll call you together to observe our moment of silence. Although the official time called into dispatch is about 10:58, and that's why I'm saying an approximate time. As you all know here, we experienced the trauma a little bit earlier than everybody else did. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll start our moment of silence a little bit ahead of that, since we do have that time. So I would like to call you to attention and ask you all to bow your heads in a moment of silence as we honor the 14 individuals who were lost, their families, and all the victims of the tragic event that occurred here 1 year ago today. Thank you. This concludes our ceremony. We want to thank you all for attending, and once again, I encourage you to attend the public event tonight at Cal State San Bernardino. Also, going forward, please make an extra effort to be kind to your family, friends, neighbors, and co-workers, and have a peaceful holiday season and a peaceful new year. Please remember that our similarities are far greater than our differences.